Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching my channel, The Witty Turtle. In the last class, we have discussed scheduling. We have completed all the theories and the illustration from the chapter scheduling. And in this class, we are going to study queuing model, right? So, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when we hear the word queue? Queue का मतलब होता है line, right? So basically, in this particular topic, we are going to study the general structure of a queuing system.
Before starting the video, I have a special announcement for those students who are going to appear CMA Foundation in June 2022 attempt. So this announcement is from Unacademy. So Unacademy is starting the success batch for June 2022 attempt for CMA Foundation aspirants, which is going to start from 9th of February 2022. This is your chance to prepare with the top notch educators in India, and you can clear your fundamentals in every subject from them. Unacademy will also provide you with a perfect study plan to clear your CMA exams. This is a subscription that is more than just classes. You will get live interactive sessions, recorded lectures with unlimited watch time, access to the notes from all the educators at one place. Every fourth session is a doubt solving session. You'll also get updated study materials and practice mock test papers. For this, you simply need to download the Unacademy Learning app, then select your goal as foundation, and then click on Get Subscription. You can get the CMA Foundation subscription at Rs 875 per month for 24 months and likewise for 12 months and 6 months. You can also avail a 10% off on your CMA Foundation subscription by using my coupon code, that is Anvesha10. So don't wait for more and get your subscriptions done today. All the links for the Unacademy classes are given in the description box below. Don't forget to check them out.
As you can see this figure in the book, so here you can see there is an input of population. So this is the arrival process जहाँ पर लोग आ रहे हैं, right? And they are standing in a queue. Simply you can imagine like a situation. अगर आप कभी मूवी देखने जाते हो और वहाँ पर जाके आप ऑफलाइन टिकट खरीदते हो, या फिर आप ट्रेन का जो टिकट है वो आप ऑफलाइन खरीद रहे हो क्यू में खड़े रह के. सो द वेरी सेम थिंग हैज बीन शोन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर डायग्राम, right? So here the queue structure is there and there is a counter, right? There is a counter where the service mechanism is there and people are getting their services from here, and then the customers, they leave the system. So this is the general structure of a queuing system. Now we will discuss into a little bit more detail about the various elements of a queuing system. First, what is the first element here? The arrival process, right? The arrivals from the input population may be classified on different bases as follows. So here the first basis is according to the sources. So according to the sources of the customers, the queuing system can be infinite or finite. So you know what is the meaning of infinite and finite. Finite का मतलब होता है it is limited and infinite का मतलब होता है it is unlimited. For example, in your city there must be some super bazaars or like big bazaars. So वहाँ पर क्या होता है? The number of people is very large in that case, right? So all the people are the potential customers for that particular super bazaar. So it can be taken as infinite, right? Similarly, we can take another situation like where in a particular business or any industrial condition, we cannot consider the population to be infinite. On the other hand, we can take another example like there are some machines in your factory which require a continuous repair or maintenance. So those maintenance crew, right? उसमें जितने भी लोग होंगे, those maintenance crew can be exemplified as the finite population. Understood? So here the last sentence is very essential. I'm going to repeat that. Removing one machine from a small finite population like this will have a noticeable effect on the calls expected to be made by the remaining machines. Then if there are a large number of machines, say 500. So it is saying what? If there are there is a small or like finite population, then it will have a noticeable effect if you remove one machine. But if there are a large number of machines, like 500 machines, then in that case, if you remove any one machine, then it does not really give any noticeable effect. Understood? Now the second basis is according to the numbers. So the customers may arrive for the service individually or in groups. So these individual arrivals are known as single arrivals. So what are the examples of single arrivals? Have you visited any beautician or like any dentist or any doctor who is practicing like his medicines in a clinic, right? So how do you go there? You go there like you individually go there, right? You don't go there in a group. So these places are known as single arrivals. Similarly, on the other hand, when families visit restaurants, right, or ships discharge cargo at a dock, these are the examples of bulk or batch arrivals, right? These are the arrivals in groups. So this way you can classify according to the numbers. And what is the third basis for classification? That is your according to line, right? So customers may arrive in a system at known times, or they might arrive in random way. So there are this can be classified into two parts. One is regular arrival and the second one is irregular arrival. So the queuing models wherein customers' arrival times are known with certainty, right? This is very important. The arrival time of the customer is known and it is certain that yes, they will arrive at this particular time. So these are known as deterministic models. What is it known as? Deterministic model, right? And these deterministic models are easier to handle, obviously, because they are quite organized and systematic. So it is very easier to handle. On the other hand, a substantial majority of the queuing models are based on the premise that the customers enter the system stochastically or at random points in time. There is no certainty. It is not known that when the customer will arrive. He might arrive at random points of time, or the number of the customers might be more or might be unexpected or uneven. So this is known as classification of arrival process according to line, right? So here we can come to the next element of a system, right? The next element is what? Service system. There are two aspects of a service system. The first one is structure of the service system and the second one is speed of service, right? So what do you mean by structure of the service system? See, there are several possibilities that many kinds of service facilities might exist, right? So the first one is a single service facility. What is the example of this? You can take the example of a library counter. So you must have visited to the library in your entire life, right? So what happens when you go to the library counter? You stand in a queue and then you do what? You you issue your books and then you leave, right? So this is your single server, single queue model, right? See, here is the diagram for that. Arrivals, then you have your queue, then you get the service facility from the counter, and then the customers, they leave. The next kind of service facility is multiple parallel facilities with single queue, right? So यहाँ पर what used to happen? There was only one queue and only one server. But here what is happening? There is only one queue, but there are different like multiple servers, multiple service stations are there. So इसका जो best example होगा, that will be, if you have ever visited any service station for your vehicle, then you must have noticed this. Like whenever you go to that particular service station, they ask you to stand in a queue, right? Or you can take your number. So what happens? जो पहला नंबर है वो यहाँ चला जाएगा, जो दूसरा नंबर है वो यहाँ चला जाएगा, जो थर्ड नंबर है that will come here and the fourth number will come here. So there are multiple service stations and they will provide you services simultaneously to multiple customers. And similarly after that the customers will leave, right? So this is what multiple or parallel servers. See, there are 4 servers and they are working parallelly, and there is only one queue, right? Okay. The third kind of service facility is multiple parallel facilities with multiple queues. So what is the difference between these two? Here also multiple servers were there. Here also multiple servers are here. And then here they were working parallelly. Here also they are working parallelly. But the main difference is there was only one queue. There was only single queue in the first case, and in the second case there are also multiple queues. So the best example for this is, if you have ever visited to the electricity office to pay the electricity bill, then you can relate that with this. Like, there are many people standing in a queue to pay their bills, right? Any kind of bill you might have gone to pay. So the people are standing in the queue, then they pay their bills here, and then they leave. And there are multiple queues and there are multiple servers, and they are working parallelly, right? Now, the next one is service facilities in a series. So what happens here? The customer enters the first station, right? The customers are standing in a queue, and then they enter to the first station, and they get a portion of the service. See, if जो service उनको लेना है, if that is divided into 2 parts, then that particular service works in 2 portions. So here what generally happens, the customers, they arrival in a queue, then they get some portion of the service in the first service station, then they again stand in a queue, and then what happens, they get the second part of that particular service in the second service station, and after that the service gets completed and the customers leave. So this is known as service facilities in a series. Multiple servers are there, but they are working in a series, right? They are functioning in a series. So the example can be, machining of a certain steel item may consist of many functions or many operations like cutting, turning, knurling, drilling, grinding, and packaging operations. And all these operations are being performed by a single server in a series. And these things are being performed in a single server, right? Multiple या parallel servers नहीं है यहाँ पे. Sorry, multiple तो है, लेकिन यहाँ पर parallelly they are not working. They are working one after another. So this is known as your service facilities in a series, right? So apart from these, there may be other possibilities as well, right? Okay. Coming to the second aspect of a service system, that is speed of service, right? Speed of service क्या होता है? In a queuing system, the speed with which the service is provided, that can be expressed in either of 2 ways. The first one is service rate and the second one is service time. Now you might get confused between service rate and service time. So service rate क्या होता है? It means the number of customer serviced during a particular time period. Let's say, ओके, यहाँ पर पहले हम लोग ये समझते हैं रेट क्या होता है. हमेशा हम लोग रेट को टाइम के साथ कैलकुलेट करते हैं, राइट? व्हाट इज द रेट ऑफ योर राइटिंग? तो हम लोग बोलते हैं कि हाँ 500 वर्ड्स पर 30 मिनट्स, लाइक दिस, राइट? So exactly the number of customers who are receiving the service in a particular time, like we can say, yes, 10 customers are getting their service in a span of 1 hour, that is 60 minutes. And what is the meaning of service time? Service time is the amount of time needed to service a customer. A customer is going to the service center to get a particular service. So how much time is needed to complete the work of that customer? How much time is needed to service that customer, right? That is known as your service time. So service time क्या होता है? It is always expressed in minutes or hours. And service rate क्या होता है? It is always expressed in number of customers serviced divided by a particular time. That is these many, like 5 customers in 60 minutes, like this. Okay, understood? Here again another example has been given, which you can read on your own. Okay. So we have studied the elements of a system. What is the third element of the system? The third element is queue structure, right? The third element is queue structure. So in any queue structure, the most important thing is to know the queue discipline, right? What is the meaning of queue discipline? It means the order by which customers are picked up from the waiting line for service, right? See, for example, in a queue, 4 people are standing, and the service provider, he calls the first one and then the third one, or the first one and the second one, or maybe the third one or the fourth one, right? So in which order they are calling the customers, they are picking up the customers to provide them the service. Okay, so here there are a number of possibilities. The first number of possibility is FIFO basis, first come first served basis. So whoever has arrived in the service station first, the service will be received by them first. Like if there are 4 people standing in a queue, so the first person will get the service first, and the second person will get the service after the first person gets completed, right? This is your FIFO. By this time you must have understood what is the meaning of FIFO or LIFO, right? Now the second is Lifo method. What is Lifo? Last in, first out. For example, the people who are standing in the end of the queue, those people will be picked first, and those people will be provided with the service first. That is known as your Lifo methods, right? For example, assume that letters to be typed or order forms to be processed accumulated in a pile. Obviously, for example, let's not complicate things. सिंपल आप अपने स्कूल डेज में वापस चले जाओ, एंड जब हम लोग का एग्जाम खत्म होता था या फिर टीचर जो होमवर्क देती थी वो होमवर्क हमें कलेक्ट करना रहता था. सो व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू डू, वी यूज्ड टू कलेक्ट द कॉपीज एंड वी यूज्ड टू पुट देम इन ऑन द टेबल ऑफ द टीचर, राइट? सो उसमें क्या होता था, हम लोग जैसे ही कॉपीज कलेक्ट करते थे तो वो एक के बाद एक पाइल्ड अप होता था, राइट? सो इन दैट केस व्हाट यूज्ड टू हैपन, द पर्सन हु हैज सबमिटेड द copy at last, his copy will be checked first. So that is your Lifo method, right? Very easy. Now the third queue structure is service in random order. Service in random order, they will choose the customers in random order. There is no sequence in such a case. Randomly they will pick the first one, then they will pick the fifth one, then they will pick the third one, like this, right? And lastly, priority service. Priority service क्या होता है? They choose the customers on priority basis. Like whoever customer has like a bigger priority, that customer will be called first. So the customers may be called according to some identifiable characteristic, like the length of the job, for example. Okay, so here we can take the example of like hospital में जैसे patients को लिया जाता है. So what really happens? Treatment of VIPs in preference to other patients in a hospital, right? If any VIP is ill or he needs a treatment, then what happens? The hospital officials, they choose the treatment of the VIPs before the treatment of general people, right? So this is known as priority service. Understood? Another very important factor that needs to be considered while considering the queuing structure, that is the behavior or the attitude of the customers entering the queuing system, right? So according to the behavior or the attitude of the customers, they can be divided into two parts. The first one is patient and the second one is impatient, right? So who are called as the patient customers? Those customers who join the queue when the queue is existing, okay, and they wait till they enter the service station for getting their service, right? तो ये कौन लोग हैं who are waiting, who are entering the queue? The queue is there and they are patiently waiting in the queue to come their number, and after their number comes, they go to the service station and get their services. They are called as the patient customers, right? But at the same time, in the queuing system, there are some customers who behave in an impatient manner. So these impatient customers are divided into three parts. The first one is jockeying. The second one is your reneging, and the third one is balking. So who is the jockeying customers? Who have a tendency to join the line which is moving at a faster pace, right? See, for example, there are three rows, and the middle row is the middle row is moving at a faster rate. So these people, these jockeying customers, what they do, they try to switch their rows, they try to switch their queues, and they try to come to the middle row which is moving at a faster speed, right? The next is reneging. What is the meaning of reneging? These customers, they join the existing line, but afterwards they leave the line. Like वो होता है ना, today it is very crowded, I'll come some other day. So these people are called as reneging. And the third kind of customers, they are known as balking. So what is the meaning of balking customers? So these customers came to the area where the service station is there, but they did not join the queue as it is a very long queue. And they assumed that yes, today my number will not come. And they left the queue. They left the service station only, right? So they are known as balking customers. So while solving the questions of queuing, what is as it said? Unless otherwise specified, अगर आपको कुछ नहीं बोला गया है, that means you have to consider the storage capacity as infinite, right? Like you can accommodate infinite people in the queue. And what is it saying? You will also need to assume that there is no balking or no jockeying, and the customers are leaving the service system only after receiving service, not before receiving service, right? So we are assuming everything to be positive. So in this class, we will study till here, and from the next class onwards, we will start solving the questions, and we will do the rest theoretical portions. Those are in your book, right? So if you find this video helpful, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, The Witty Turtle, and also share this video with your friends who are searching operations management classes in English. So my videos are in like 98% English. So yes, do refer my videos to them. And you can also find the link for the classes of Unacademy and the link for my social media handles in the description box below. Don't forget to check them out, okay?